It's refreshing to have been removed for so long because now I feel like I'm starting to get an appreciation for this place as an adult, and I'm seeing it through a fresh pair of eyes. I don't know, it's like a new chance at life in a way. It's like, it's a huge blessing to be able to see my home as an outsider.
So where did you go?
Where didn't I go? I went to Boston, New York, LA, the Netherlands, Thailand, Vietnam, the Philippines.
Damn.
Yeah.
You were everywhere.
I was everywhere. Hi, my name is Rachel Patrice Perkins. I am a filmmaker and an actor.
Not a lot of people have interesting backgrounds before they get into the art like that. Like, oh, my family did this and we wanted to do this and stuff like that. So how does your upbringing, I've been on this thing about positive upbringings lately. So how is your upbringing? Tell me about, like, what about that? Your foundations, was there things about that pushed you into art, creativity, or?
I grew up in a family that loved movies. Everyone in my house loved movies. My uncle, my grandma, my mom, and they would like show me 80s movies, 70s movies, 90s especially. I grew up in church, and I was a pianist. That was like the first thing I did.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, me and my brother, we took piano lessons starting at like age 4.
Wow.
And my mom did a really good job at exposing us to art. Like, my brother was in the San Francisco Boys Choir. Sometimes she took us to the opera or the ballet. I grew up singing in the church. I used to do praise dance in church. I took a ballet class. I used to take dance classes in middle school and high school. I also grew up, you know, in the time right before tech really started to take off in the 2000s. Everything was like STEM this, STEM that.
Just like a major push away from art and into math,
right? So
technology.
Like, I was exposed to it, but more as something to like enjoy and participate in as like a community thing. But I never really considered it as a career until high school. I remember being a kid and like, when I was 9, I saw Titanic and I found this biography book on Leonardo DiCaprio. And like every person, I had a crush on him. But I tucked into that book because it didn't necessarily talk so much about him, but it talked more about his career and like his life on set. And like, sometimes I would watch movies and be like, huh, man, it must be so cool to be in that.
That's cool. That's awesome. Because not only were you exposed to it, and it could feel like, oh, this is just something I see all the time.
Yeah.
But being able to participate, right? And then you're like, oh, I didn't consider I too could be one of these people.
Yeah.
Right? So what does that do for you as a young kid? Do you remember the feeling that you had from that moment forward? Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna
go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the second year of my acting journey. My drama teacher was, every winter he would put on a serious play.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, the year before that they did the Laramie Project, and one year they did Our Town, like this really heavy shit. And so when we put on the Diary of Anne Frank, that was 2016 during the Syrian refugee crisis, we were using the show to get our school environment more concerned about the Syrian refugee crisis, the genocide that was happening. For that show, at the end of each show, we would raise money and collect donations to, you know, donate to the cause. So that being said, we all felt a huge obligation to do a really good job. This time it was different. It wasn't just a fun school play. Like, there was a cause that we were supporting. I worked so hard on it, and I really dug into the character and educated myself about the Holocaust, read newspapers, listened to music from the 40s, like really tried to tap into that era and like do my research. I wasn't just playing a character. I got to play someone who was alive, like an actual person. And I was playing a real person to support real people. And with that came a huge obligation. And so something off went in me like, oh, like, I can use this not just to entertain, but I can actually make a difference. And that meant way more to me than just being the best actress or the best dancer, singer, whatever. I was like, oh, maybe this is my purpose then.
But it transforms into something else, like a service art.
Yeah, I feel like that's when I actually became an artist.
So in terms of the movie, let's get into And the Beat Goes On.
Yes.
What was the service impetus for that movie? Like, what
Oh my God.
pushed you into that?
I mean, I felt like that was the kind of story anybody could relate to it. Like,
Yeah.
that was mainly based off of a really rough time in my life, but it wasn't just about me. Like, I was seeing it in a lot of people around me. So I made that film my first year out of college. It was the first film I made without access to that sweet free college equipment and people who will work for nothing. Yeah.
Oh. So you gotta get the pressure. You gotta get it done.
Woo! Yeah, you gotta get it done. But I was also just like a broke actor in New York, and I'd gotten to the point where I made the big move to New York, but this wasn't about making the big move. This was the moment after. This was like the chapter 2. And so I kind of made this as a love letter to all the people who have just made that big step in their life, whether it's like the divorcee who finally left her husband, or the corporate person who quits their job and moves out of the country, and every single, 18-year-old or 22-year-old who moves to the big city to like find themselves and do the thing. This isn't about that. It's about the moment after chapter 1 where the reality of your new choices set in, and you're like, oh my God, what did I just do? And I wanted to make it to remind them to just keep going and that it's okay. And like, failure is inevitable, but I don't know if it has to be failure. I think it's just growth.
That's a huge thing, because art can be so, like we talked about before, selfish or self-centered, at least when you're making the art for oneself. And I think a lot of people might feel like, why am I keep going on? Whether it's finances, whether it's their family, whether it's other life issues, geopolitical struggle. Like, why do I feel like I should make this art right now?
That was probably like the worst time. That was probably like, now's not the time to be trying to make a movie. Like, I need to get my money up. I need to get in therapy or whatever. But something in me is like, fuck it. Like, what have I got to lose? I feel like that was also me kind of like trying to take my power back. And something about it just felt right. It was like, no, now is the time. When you feel like you have nothing to lose, now is the time to just go for it, to create, to make art.
When you have nothing else to lose, give something back.
Exactly.
Nothing about our lives is, I would say it's beautiful, but nothing about every day is cute.
No, nothing. I mean, even this, this walk we're having right now looks so glamorous. We have on our cutesy little outfits.
Right.
We're at the museum. But like, when I woke up, I did not look like this morning. Like, I had eye boogers in. I had to brush my teeth because my breath probably stank. I had to shower. I had to get on the train. I had to tie up my laces. Like, none of that is cute, but that doesn't mean that it's any less necessary or special. That's basically also exactly what I tried to capture with And the Beat Goes On.
Right.
Like, that's exactly what I tried to do. Like, I remember talking to my DP, and I basically told him, like, I want the shots to look kind of shitty. Like, I want this to look boring as hell. I want it to maybe even look like a little nasty, like a little gritty. Like, I didn't want this to be just some cutesy la 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 la. I was like, I just want to show just this guy who has every day in the life, and it's not cute, it's not glamorous, it's actually heartbreaking for the most part, but that's his life, and that's a lot of people's lives. It's not a fancy looking kind of film. It's not F1.
No.
That for sure, but that's what I like about it the most.
It's like a mundane quality. Is that kind of what you're interested in? And in that movie in particular, to show kind of the real thing he's going through?
Yeah.
And not boost it up?
Yeah.
Or dramatize it. It's like, woe is me.
Yeah, I just wanted to show it for what it was. There's even this beautiful part in the film where like he's sitting in the staircase having his moment.
I was just about to bring that up. You brought up the grittiness or like the realness of it, and he's sitting there and he's like stressed the fuck out. The camera's like right in his face, so it's a close shot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, when I'm watching old movies and they hold on the action, like the actor will just be in a room going through it the whole time. I was like, that's one of my favorite shots. Usually in modern films, we would cut to his reaction, but you held on him, he's stressing out, but then he also finds relief.
That was my favorite shot because I was like, this doesn't need to be this whole like dramatic, and like the whole time what I wanted to capture, it was like if you were a person who literally just followed someone around for a day, like you know, if that camera was a person, there wouldn't be a bunch of close-ups, there wouldn't be a bunch of fancy shots. So like we only put the camera where an actual person could be or would be. And so when we captured that shot, we wanted it to feel like, you know, I'm Gabe and like this is the camera. It's like we wanted it to feel like someone walking in. It's almost like you're invading his privacy in a way. I just wanted it to be real. And the reason why I brought up that shot is because even when we had like that take, like a dog started barking. It just started barking and it would not stop. And I was like, perfect. Perfect. If you like make any noise in any hallway or like start screaming or whatever, like if there's a dog in an apartment, they're gonna bark, or someone's gonna open their apartment door and be like, is everything okay? Like, hello?
Are you good?
Or like maybe someone's gonna like call the police because they think you're crazy, they want you to shut up, like, you know what I mean? Even that part with like the fucking dog was just like, oh my God. I was like, this is a filmmaker's dream.
Do you technically on set, is that something you welcome, like surprises or?
Yeah. All the time. Even the dancing scene, when I had our other DP, Joanne, our videographer and our dance choreographer, the dance he did, that wasn't choreographed or anything. Like, we were in a club, we couldn't bring a whole camera, so I shot it on my phone.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and like, I literally told him, like, do whatever you want. The camera's just gonna follow you. Forget it's there. The result ended up being amazing, and I felt like it was so much better than anything that I could have written out or tried to manipulate.
We were just talking about art. We were talking about the films. I want to ask you one thing about, I hate this question, but your favorite films? But I want to kind of open it a little bit or close it a little bit. Your favorite films now for a specific technical or emotional things that relate to you and what you want to do.
Okay, right now, Tampopo, amazing film. It's a spaghetti western about a woman who tries to open the best ramen shop ever. I recently saw Usual Suspects, and I really, really liked the way it was written. I felt like it was a film where I had seen so many actors just make so many choices and take so many chances and be consistent with it. And the writing is like, come on. Also, right now, really tapped into the Basquiat movie from 1995 with Jeffrey Wright.
Isn't that Jeffrey? Yeah.
That was amazing. It was very surrealist, which I loved. And like, I can't not talk about this movie. Maybe it's a cop-out, but Sinners. What resonated with me so much is that I saw this interview where Ryan Coogler was like, I wanted it to feel like you were reading this gothic vampire novel and listening to blues music. And you could feel that. I felt like it was something that was just so personal to him and a story that he just genuinely loved. After I wrapped in The Beat Goes On, I was like, okay, I think I want to start writing features, and I struggled a little bit because I felt like this pressure to like make something that would get financed and to like make something that people will want to see.
Commercial art, yeah.
Not even commercial, just something that would be accepted, something that could actually get made. But at one point, I found myself like, working on this script that I didn't plan to go anywhere with it, but it just made me so happy. Like, I found myself writing it in my notes app on the subway on the way to work. So I think Sinners has had a big influence on me as of late, because it reminded me that where my heart is where the right path is, and that it's okay, to literally just make something that I really, really love and like am geeked about, and that's enough.
I can feel it.
And it doesn't have to hit anyone's metrics. If I'm excited about it, okay. I honestly feel like I really am just beginning now. I've got a long way to go, but I feel like this is maybe a good foundation of how I want to move through this world as an artist, as a person with honor, dignity, a little bit of grace, a little bit of class. I felt like I'm only important as an artist if I'm super famous, or if my shit is super well known, or if I'm, you know, a fancy brand ambassador. And there's nothing wrong with those things. But at some point, I put that as the metric as to which I measured my own success and how I accepted myself as an artist, and that's not okay. I feel really dedicated and reinvigorated towards, you know, making projects that I love, but also like something with purpose. And I want to treat this as a way to remind them that life doesn't have to suck so much.